Hi guys, this is Benjamin from Second Dynasty. Oh, it's not really. It is Ben from Second Dynasty. Oh no, he's coming with it. John has something to show you guys.
I shrunk him.
Something's happened to Albin. This I find creepier than this. Look at this thing and compare them. Put it away. That's so creepy. Yeah, okay, sorry about the shenanigans. Anyone who's been following us for a while knows that John has started a cult in my honor. And, yeah, he's been doing strange things while he has been here in Sweden. Today is sadly his last day with us all here in the office. Oh, I need to close that. There we go. Oh. Never mind the screen. And, yeah, basically let's focus instead on what it is we do, which is make 3D printable starships. In this case, the one we've been working on for way too long now is the free trader Beowulf, and I'm happy to report that it is 98% feature complete. There is a few small things left to do. Oh, and I forgot to turn on a couple of layers, so let's switch back to my classic, go into the channel editor and turn on the deck A interior, and I think that's it for now. So I'm just going to make this big again with the expert mode. It's a bit laggy because I turned on the bells and whistles, but yeah, it has been an epic on and off, I guess around 8 months if we include the time that Albin also did some initial research into how we might convert the Beowulf into a 3D space. Oh, yeah, this is not animated yet, but it works, so we'll get to that in a second. So what has happened since last week? That's the question. I'm going to switch to the chat so I can actually see that there are people here, and I can see we do have some viewers. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Ugh. It always sucks to say that stuff, but it helps. So, yeah, this ship has been fun to work on, but maybe I bit off more than I can chew. Or in fact, I know I have. But hopefully we have a good, successful campaign. There have been some major changes since last week. The engineering section is complete. I think we had the turrets last week, but I can't remember if we showed them or not. In any case, we went for the sort of like I kind of based the turrets. They're not the same as the ones on the Type S. They're more modeled off the Rob Caswell sort of side designs. They're identical top and bottom, so just twin lasers, I guess, with a sensor down the bottom, I'm guessing, which is like to do with targeting or some such. The other changes, for the most part, have been about getting the ship to fit together much better. And one of the things we do, you can see that the starboard side here uses the same, has the new pieces. The port side here has the old one. So before, our door frame used to be in all of these different components, right? And we found that despite having metal support rods running parallel to the ship, despite having metal rods running parallel to the ship and also at the front of the ship, this section here was actually bending forward a little bit. And so it was fine when the whole ship was assembled, but not as much when you were starting to take levels off. Because the idea is, and always has been, that, this is a playable interior. So if we switch back to standard mode again, we'll get a smaller image, but at the same time we also get a few more controls here. Let's see, I want my channel box here, and we'll take off the top hull. So you can see down into deck A. So now all of this is printed, test printed. There is room for some expansion here in the garage if you wanted to add a workbench or something. I've left a couple of options just in case, we want to revisit things and change them. The lighting isn't perfect here, so if you want, I can turn it off so it's a little clearer to see. And you'll notice that the system runs much quicker too. We still need to finish working on the bar. This is one of the things I haven't done. Also reprint these interior rooms because we hadn't learnt about the amazing setting just yet. What do you want me to show that off, John? John's pointing at things off camera. I would like to show it off too, and John is going to bring the ship and demonstrate exactly what we're talking about with that structural improvement. So if we look here, let me see, I go back to the stream, and we switch to a close-up. John is behind me here.
This is the old design side first.
Yes, this is the old side. Let's get the camera going maybe. Okay, so the old side here, you can kind of see there's like a crack here. And I also wasn't really fond of the doors that we made, which are designed to be like van doors. Well, you can see there's still a little bit of bending on this side. But if we switch around to the opposite side, you can see I've redesigned this completely. Now this piece clips in under there and runs along the back here and clips into there, and it just pulls it all together really nicely so that when you have the center of gravity here in the middle of the ship where I'm supporting it, it feels a lot better when it's all together. At the moment, the cargo bay isn't actually clipped in the floor, but you'll notice the ramp is there, and actually we can show off the ramp because I made an improvement just before the stream. Can you turn it back around again, John?
Of course, sir.
All right. Let's see. So the ramp, let's see if we can get this working. You can see now it has this little doohickey which holds the ramp in place. So it won't fall further than this. And it also has the added ability of, did you notice I didn't clip that in at all? So it just holds in place. There'll be one on the other side too. So it's kind of like professionally done. Or something, I don't know. It feels more realistic. In any case, thank you, John, for demonstrating that. I'm going to miss John's powers of demonstration when he returns to America at the end of this weekend. We've also replaced the door here. I'm not quite, I haven't test printed it yet, but it's just going to be a put in place door. It's gotten to the point where compromises need to be made because we just are out of time. I wish Albin had the ability. Can you take a screenshot or something and send it to my Discord, Albin? Or you know what? You could call me on Discord and show off what you're working on, because I think the punters would like to see that. And a lot of the other work I've been doing this week has been for putting in lighting. I've replaced this section here with a switch.
There is a call.
Okay, there's a call. Let me see if I can actually accept this call. I'm hoping this doesn't upset anything. I'm going to mute myself just to be sure, and I need to pop out this window somehow. Let's see. Pop out. There we go. So this is Albin's screen. Wait, how do we get this full screen? There we go. No? There, hide members. Okay, what do you got there, Albin?
Well, what do I got here?
Yeah, I don't know how well people will be able to hear you, but this is the Rampart fighter.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been working on this. It's been a quick build, something that we've been trying to get done as a side project. He's getting it into a printable state. There are a couple of design compromises just to get it printable at this stage. I think it's about 10 inches long when it's fully printed.
Centimeters.
It's 10. Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure.
It's supposed to be 10 squares, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so that should be 10 inches.
Yeah.
So it has a cockpit lid that you just lift off. We might refine this in the future, I don't know, but at the moment I'm quite satisfied with the way it sort of works. We've reused the interior cockpit from the stinger that we did recently, which means it's stick based. So it's not quite 100% the original material, but pretty close interpretation of that. And hopefully you guys are enjoying it. So it looks like from the chat that there is at least some exclamations of excitement there. So this would be the single seat configuration. From what I understand, there are multiple different versions. Dalton has actually reached out and talked about those things. But we just wanted to make something. This is a project to give Albin this like recently as he came off the end of the Mark IV, which I need to write up a post for. So this will be a part of the all-in pledge when we launch the Kickstarter on the 24th of October, and also the kind of perfect sort of project to test print. The only thing we haven't really quite figured out is how we're going to solve the landing gear. So I don't know if that'll be in the first iteration or not, but you know, it's what he's been working on. Now I'm going to hang up on the call now that we've seen it. Oh, hang on. I need to turn that off. There we go. Did I actually hang up? Thank you, Albin. Disconnect. There we go. All right. So we will return to the Beowulf. So you know that's coming. Might be looking at something else as well, depending to work on while the painting's going. John's got a few questions to read, I guess.
Can we have drop tanks, sensor pods to put on under somewhere on the wings?
It does have 2 hard points for missiles, so I guess you could swap them out, maybe.
It can be done eventually.
It can be done eventually, probably, is the answer that we're getting from Albin. So we'll see. We will see.
Talk to Shadow Liger. He's the best kit batcher.
Any update on the Mark IV Alpha side ramp? It is finished. And it should actually already be on the server. What we need to check is the interior. And I have a feeling that I already tackled some of the interior. I just can't remember what it's in. So I'm actually going to look at that after the stream. So let's take a look at some of the other work we've done. I'll turn off the deck A and the side hull. All of this interior in the engineering section in the drive compartment is now complete and printable. I did have a couple of small printing errors because I printed this last night, and we'll basically be picking up on this. What am I saying? No, it is complete. I'm waiting on the floor now, which should be done at about 6 o'clock tonight, I think. So that compartment should be fully printed. We have done the lighting for one side of the ship, fully printed now. So there are just a couple of small modifications we're in the process of making. Sorry about the colors here. I'm currently making a wedge that's going to be used for the navigation lights. Apparently there's a kit just about ready for the Type J, which is nice. I'm sure we'll have that as an add-on, the Type J, and then the light kit we will link to. I don't know why this is there. That should not be there. Actually, maybe my... do I have a layer on that shouldn't be on? I'm not sure. So yeah, the lights for the engine are the exact same kind as they were in the Type S. Thank you, John. So they kind of connect together. I can kind of just maybe show off all of this. At the moment the wires are exposed inside, but if we take off the engine here, I decided to take off some of the power cables and things we had on the maneuver drives for the time being, because it's just one of those time savers where it was a real hassle to sort of like, we're getting to the point where we can't really spend any more time on anything than we already have, because this needs to be ready for painting as soon as possible. So we have a small channel here. I'd probably make this slightly wider because I had trouble fitting it. But I got all 4 engine wires along the side. There is a little bit of let's see if I can take off the deck B interior here. So the wires sort of like run here, you sort of run them. You can kind of try and run them into the channel. I haven't changed it yet. But honestly, it kind of almost looks, if you run the wire through this sort of section, I'm not entirely sure if it's completely wide enough. I'll have to test it. But it kind of like feels like it's deliberately there. Like it's okay, it's wiring, but at the same time, it's like, it doesn't look too out of place. And then that feeds through this clip hole. So I don't know if I'll do a custom clip. But yeah, if you don't want the lighting kit, you just fill in the clip there. If you want it, you leave it. So I feel like we've accomplished a real lot in the last couple of weeks. Here's just an experiment I was going to do with putting in like a suit locker, but I don't think it'll be in the first version. Again, just because we need to get this finished with an initial version. Do you have any comments or?
Yeah, there was one comment. Where did it go?
Is it about the landing gear?
No, I was thinking about some flaunch. She wanted to know if we had talked about the walkway and.
Yep, the walkway is
cargo.
one of the things that's left in the cargo bay. I can just put deck bay on again. So this is like, of the remaining things I have left on my list, one of them is like I need to get this furniture printable for in the crew commons. I need to get do some remixes of the beds for in the crew cabins and print the beds in the passenger sections. Need to do the passenger commons furniture still. And all these things might sound like a lot, but really the thing that took the most time was doing the landing gear, which I have subsequently reinforced. And these printed well, and the ship is very stable. Again, this is the sort of like ramp. It's not currently animated. This is the ramp connection here with a bit of extra stuff we'll delete now. But yeah, you can kind of see you insert it through this hoop, and it sort of stays in a channel there, although honestly it's not in. It kind of just hangs there. I don't know really why it works. I didn't expect it to work when I first saw it, but it did. So you saw how well the ramp worked earlier with just one side, so with two, that ramp's going to stay up, no worries. We do need to do a retracted landing gear option. I suspect we might be in stretch goal territory with that sort of thing. I will make a dummy version, because the version of the ship we're going to print and paint, or rather what we have printed and painted, isn't actually going to have landing gear in the video we're going to make, like the pitch video. It's going to be in a space scene where the landing gear will be retracted because it's currently docking with a space station. We have actually made a docking tube and test printed it. I will can put the boarding tube on. It is a little bit suspicious, to say the least. This might get a laugh out of some people. So yeah, you're right to move aside there, John. So let's switch to the close-up camera, and you can kind of see that it's at the moment it sort of bends up or down, and it shrinks and grows. But at the moment, yeah, it needs to be straightened, so it's like it has this accordion effect, and this just sits on the side of the ship, much like in our Maya theme. Thank you, John. What a wonderful assistant. And I don't know, I think maybe I animated this. Yeah, so this is not, again, something that we've designed to sell, but I may be convinced to put it into a stretch goal or something to that extent. By the way, let me know if there are any more questions.
We got a comment from Lillian Brink.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been active in a while, but this is looking freaking great.
That's wonderful to hear. So yeah, there are a few things. We need to print the chairs as well. Yeah, that's mostly it. We need to do the door to the airlock here. Doors in general we haven't printed. So there are a lot of smaller things, but they're the kind of things that we can sort of quickly print and deal with. Like we're not talking about huge, big ones. So this weekend I'll probably do uh, the port side version of the new cargo bay. I'm glad it worked out so well. I still need to print this piece as well. You got something you want to share there, Alvin?
Tamsin is commenting. So you're saying and showing us that it's a grower, not a shower. And Dalton Colford said, "Sell it. Nothing wrong with being paid for your work." I'm not sure. We're still talking about the air corridor, I guess. No, what do you call it?
Yeah, there's a number of. I call it a boarding tube.
Boarding tube.
But yeah, it's meant to be an analogous to the sort of like boarding ramp you would board a commercial flight on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we need to test print these doors and trying to make them so that they have minimal light bleed. There is sort of like, oh, that's right, yeah. So the idea is that these are kind of garage doors that would just fold into the hull. We can't actually physically do this. There's not really enough room. There's a lot going on in there. And this is one of those mechanical things where it's like kind of got to the point where I'm like, this is enough. This is the light holder for the cargo bay lights. So when Zorima made the light kit, we only have one side at the moment. The opposite side is on its way. We are using these modular sections of cable so you can actually switch out. So it runs off a 9-volt battery, which is a ton of juice for the, let's see, 4 LED lights in the engines, 1 LED in the cargo bay, which is more a yellow light. The other ones are white, and 1 blinking light here for the navigation light. Of course, we can run a lot more lights off that 9-volt battery. So there are actually an extra 2, I believe, slots that we could potentially expand in the future. If we wanted to modify the ship, or if someone wants to, for example, take this design, modify these a little bit. I may have to reprint this piece here, depending on how we are going to attach the, I guess, what's it called, the cargo walkway, gangway, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So these are just temporary at the moment. So there's a lot to do that's left. I was working on these navigation lights, but we can work on, let's see, let's run a poll. You on top of that, John? So option 1, we work on the cargo bay walkway. Option 2, we work on the navigation light. And option 3, we do the bar. And option 4, we work on some of the crew cabins.
So cargo bay walkway, the navigation,
Light.
and bar, and crew cabins.
Yeah. 4 options today. Let's see what happens.
Please wait. I'm getting that ready for you.
Yes, John is doing a great job, everyone. And I've also started the tedious process of renaming things in Maya so that they make more sense. You'll see that they pop up here: Beowulf interior, deck B, bridge control. It reflects the actual STL files because I want John. Well, obviously this is going to be in Deck Designer. Sorry, 3DO. Got to get out of that habit before the when we actually launch, and so that anyone that actually has it can easily preview the ship. Not to mention the fact that we want to, build instructions. So I'm very glad that he's been here and seen how it kind of assembles to some degree, because it is a very complicated ship. But what I do feel, my takeaway from this is, it's a very useful ship. There's lots of different places aboard the ship. It can be disassembled. This is a ship you could really honestly have on your tabletop and and play various different missions on. So let's get voting on those things.
We have 7 votes thus far, sir.
We do. It sounds like the Cargo Bay Walkway is winning out. And actually, I'm glad Dalton is here because I have questions.
Douglas Samaflange would like to comment.
Okay.
Boarding tube would make a great tribe offering, especially if it comes with adapters to other ship hulls and starship tiles. Sir, what is tribes?
Oh, John. So I don't know how much you guys, sorry about that, heard about that. But yeah, Tribes is our equivalent of Patreon. It's on My Mini Factory, which is our distributor. Everything's all in one place. So basically, you drop $5 a month, and you get a discount code for all store items on My Mini Factory, but not campaign items. They're separate. And you also get a number of new items every month. This month we did Stinger. Another of our starfighters, I think it was the Lancer, if I'm not mistaken. And another, basically $40 worth of content for $5. We have additional plans in the future. Are there plans on offering deck plan option to the Kickstarter? Yes, in fact, the only thing we need to figure out on pricing is that could be another poll, by the way, to figure out what a reasonable price you would pay for, full deck plans. Because we want to have a lower tier version for people that don't have 3D printers, so that we can put that together and have options for either print to print it out as, I guess, a poster map, or for VTT, so virtual tabletops like Roll20, like Foundry, or Fantasy Grounds, that you could sort of import the graphics in to have, a ship done, probably with fairly neutral lighting, so that the VTTs can be self-lit. So yeah, that is the plan. Pricing is the main thing to figure out what those lower tiers are going to be. The ship itself, we're looking at around 75 euros, which I know is a lot, but this is a massive, massive ship. The all-in, probably around about $100. So the euro and the dollar are kind of on par at the moment, more or less. So I think that's a better currency to go with than the crown. But we'll see. So I know things are tight. You can always upgrade your pledge later. But if you just can't be in for the full ship, the actual deck plans themselves will be a more reasonable price. And on top of that, we're also planning to do the Type S at a minimum, in addition to the Beowulf. So I guess the Beowulf would be like 3 maps. And I guess we could kind of do spaceship tokens as well at the same time. Why not? So the all-in will include the Rampart, which of course all of these things will be available as separate options if you want. But yeah, so it looks like the
bar won with 800% of the votes. I may have rigged it.
I see the cargo bay is being done. So in any case, the this is one area I have left separate for a while because I'm concerned about how it's going to attach. And it may require some redesign in order to attach. Initially I had... See, let's put the top back on so we can see the full effect here. Let's see, put the deck A interior, and we'll put on the side version here so we can see into the cargo bay. So you can see that the ceiling is actually quite high here, but that we do have a couple of design
Yeah, a really nice comment from Lillian Brink. I didn't initially like the look of this ship. Watching you make it has really won me over.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
That is very cool. And I can kind of see why you might feel that way. But at the same time, the Beowulf, I've fond memories of actually playing in Beowulf. So let's get back into the cargo bay. The main issue I have here is how is this going to be held up? Because it's quite long. We'll turn off these I just wanted to demonstrate where the ceiling was at. And here, I think initially I had made this floor sort of like raised here, as I've done, due to the fact that I was initially trying to fit a full-size cargo crate under here. And because the floor actually starts, I guess a quarter of an inch or something underneath, there's actually not 3 centimeters or 2 inches of height here for a full-sized crate. I don't think I really win anything back by doing it this way, so it's possible to put a clip hole back in this section. But it's still going to be a case of, it'll be a little bit wobbly. You will be able to assemble the front and the back here too. But what I'm really wondering about is a couple of design flaws. And this is where I know some veterans of Traveller might be able to assist. Right now we just have a walkway with these railings, which are very much temporary. These are from the Chimera series. But from what I've read of the deck plans, I'm not sure if these are meant to be sealed or not. So is it a sealed walkway with, just looking down into the cargo bay? So there's actually supposed to be like a partition here and along the edges, or is it open? Some of the things I was thinking about was that it could be somewhat retractable. Now this is not something that we at all have time for, but I had ideas that you could hang it off. If we made indentations here, we could maybe suspend it like a suspended bridge. But because the floor of deck A angles and switches up like half an inch at this point in the ship, it's kind of hard to tether it to the ceiling, because you don't want this tethered to the ceiling, because when you lift it off, obviously it's going to try and come with it. So you either need something structurally to hold it in place, like midships here, or you just compromise. So it's never specified in the rules. Okay, well, you know what? Since it isn't specified in the rules, why don't we go with the bare basics? And this could be a potential place where we could talk about doing the stretch goal. Unlike past campaigns, we really need to limit the stretch goals in this one, because we are way overextended on this campaign, and I don't want to spend the next 3 to 4 months delivering stretch goals afterwards. So it's going to be sensible stuff. We're not going to alter the shape of the ship, but we'll have stuff like being able to upgrade the engines and power plant and jump drive to so it can be a far trader. We'll have fuel bladders to also accommodate that. Although I wish I thought of that earlier and left some kind of, I guess you just remove the panels or something, and hidden behind that is some way to link the fuel. I don't know what just happened now. Users dropped off completely. In any case, let's rebuild this. Oh, there it says 16 all of a sudden. All right, whatever.
I saw the same thing.
Yeah, let's see. What are the people saying about this?
There are a few suggestions. So, Blasted Camouflage said, how about a cargo bar? That would be something.
I'm guessing that Blasted Camouflage voted for the bar instead, yeah. We'll get to the bar. I'm hoping it's going to be done by next week. Right now I'm just looking for a tile that I can steal the open lock system from, which will be this one, I think. So there's a couple of options here. Yeah, so we need to modify this, and we need to redesign this walkway. I'm wondering if maybe we want something different floor-wise, although I don't think so, because it's going to take too long to determine. So at the moment, we actually have the wrong symbol here that actually says this blue thing is a commons area. So we're just going to duplicate this, isolate, and we're going to grab the semiotics here. I'm just going to delete the interior here so we can grab just the symbol for the drive compartment. I keep calling it engineering, but technically in Traveller it's called a drive compartment. And we're just going to match it into this section here. Can sit there for now because we just need to delete this first. So again, I'm just going to grab this. We'll just delete that and redo it. And then if we move the pivot point up here, put it in this corner, rotate it 90 degrees. Let's see, there we go. And then we just drop it down to be parallel with, oh, wait, I've got the grid on still. There we go. To be parallel with there, mesh, combine, and then we just recreate this geometry here by extruding up, and it even kept the red for us, which is nice. So we have two symbols. One is drive compartment, the other is essentially, I guess, like an airlock or pressurized sort of symbol, indicating that, you know, there's a pressure door here of some kind.
We got some inputs from the Dalton Calford. He would like to see cargo shelves. In other words, shelves that you would find in a factory / warehouse / Costco, and many cargoes in Traveller and small lots, not always large containers. You can also,
That's a good point.
yeah, apparently you can also carry passengers as steerage. So if you do cargo shelves, you can, as a stretch goal, have each shelf as an optional bed or sitting area. I'm not sure what steerage is though. Is that like
I think it's more like a plane.
a plane?
Yeah, no, like on a commercial airline, that you just have stick a bunch of seats in there.
Steerage is usually considered the lowest class possible.
Well, you know, travel has even lower class than
I
that.
mean, like low berth, aren't that?
Low berths are the lowest of the
Yeah.
with like a, what is it, 5 or 10% chance of dying. I mean, that's desperation.
Yeah, that's not a fun situation to be in. Let's go on a vacation. Let's hope we don't die.
So I'm trying to think here what the best way to deal with the railings here will be. We definitely need to reprint this, and
Steerage is carrying people in cargo.
okay, it could mean that it means low berths then.
According to Tamsin, steerage is listed as an option in one of the sets of rules, but it was frowned upon or illegal in the Imperium.
I don't know. I'm not an imperial judge. So I'm just gonna grab this. Gonna delete the top. We only really need one clip hole, so it's unfortunate we don't have the full clip here. Actually, you know what? We'd be better off just grabbing a clip from elsewhere on the ship. So where is our next clip? Could grab one from here. Duplicate. Just grab this. So I said I was aiming to be finished with the ship today. Obviously I'm not, but I feel like we are very close. We're just doing small details at this point in time, and I'm also happy with how far we got. I'm also very happy with how quickly Albin has knocked out the Rampart fighter under duress. But he has performed admirably in the line of fire. There you go, Albin. A little bit of praise on stream. That should keep you going for a while.
We have had a few questions concerning mezzanine.
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 That's a difficult word. Is there any thoughts on allowing us to make that mezzanine to replace a walkway, or have those slots in the walls we can bolt things to the walls of the cargo bay?
I'm not quite following what part of the ship you're referring to.
Is it the back in the fourth wall of the cargo where the walkway is connected?
Oh right, yeah. If you had a top deck there, yeah. See, the thing is, like, technically we could have had clip holes all along here, so you could put a second story on. Problem is, then you kind of preclude full-size cargo containers from fitting because, again, they're 3 meters high, which is like 2 inches. So the floor is obviously 1/4 inch off the ground, and they won't fit there. It wouldn't be hard to implement as an option, as maybe a stretch goal. That again is one that is quite attainable. So we should probably add that to the list of ideas of things that we could do. That, you know, I could probably knock that out in a couple of hours if we're just recycling bits and pieces. So I'd say that is an attainable stretch goal idea. And I also want that. The question here is how many sections are we going to make this bridge? Because I think it is maybe just a little bit too long for a single piece. I think my printer will not have any issues with it, but I don't know that that's true of everyone else's. Everything good, John? So yeah, we need to keep that in mind, people that have smaller print beds. But again, it would be nice if, let's see. There we go. So we're just creating a slight bit of an angle here to make it a little bit more interesting from the underside. Not that we're really going to be exploring it like a computer game or something, but I think it looks better. Let's see, and we do another one there.
So Eric Anderson said that rods that can be removed can hold the walkway, perhaps.
That's true. We could potentially put a rod underneath to stabilize things. We have used rods in the past. I wouldn't want to use the rods that I've used to secure the ship because they've got quite a volume to them. Like if we isolate the base here, you can see these are for the, I think they're like, I don't want to say exactly how long this is. Actually, the best thing to do is if I just measure it. So I need to show all, and I need to get into snapping then and create a measure tool. So let's go from here to here. Yeah, it's 6 millimeter wide one. So, I mean that's quite large. Let's see, we don't need all of these, we just need polygons. So let's create a basic shape for this. What, Alvin?
Yeah, totally glitch said as a response to your response earlier concerning mezzanine.
The mezzanine, yeah.
Mezzanine. You gave Shadow Liger a muffin. I mean, mezzanine. I mean, stretch goal. And then they started to talk about the walkway. It is possible to get clear plastic sheets to print on. If the walkway had some way of attaching such a plastic sheet, it would look like a glass enclosed walkway. The sheets are thin and flexible. In other words, could be curved over the walkway.
Sure they could.
And there is a suggestion that Shadow Liger could work on this to make it happen. As a custom part.
Yeah, Shadow Legger is our resident customizer, you might say. Which he does some great work, obviously. Yeah, that we're getting, like I said, we're just at that point where it's like, I don't want to say I hate the ship now, but you know, I'm over it. I just want to get it out there into the world and move on. Which has a downside of not leaving me particularly inspired when it comes to stretch goals. So it's great that we've had a couple of ideas here. And let's see. So my phone keeps going off. I'm wondering what's going on. Ugh. Of course, the car is finally done while I'm on a stream. They close at 4. Yeah, that's not happening today. And ironic, isn't it, John? The car's finally repaired on your final day. So for the last 3 weeks, I've been working nights so that we can play swap car, which hasn't been optimal when, you know, you've got a wonderful visitor from America here. John has fattened us up, though. He's a feeder. He's a total feeder. Yeah. Also, Lieselot is back from Africa, by the way, guys. I hear she had a great time. She didn't bless the rain, so I asked about it. So, let's see. So basically, I'm just trying to establish a structure that we're going to have and try to follow. Let's see, there. And sorry if I'm rambling a bit. It is a Friday. Lots more people come on Fridays, which is great to see. But it also means that, you know, we're pretty tired from a week of working. I think we need the grid to be slightly more detailed, so I'm going to take it from 1/8 of an inch to 1/16 of an inch. There we go. And you can see it's an inch here because there's actually a millimeter seam, but we've set it up for 25.4 units, which is 25.4 millimeters, which is equivalent to 1 inch, right? So I always work to the inch grid for that reason. And I think we'll see about making this slightly sharper here. There we go. I think that's going to look better.
So Calvin Collier joined us. He said, "Hello, band and crew."
Hello, Kevin.
Eric Anderson wonders, are there any variants plans?
Yeah, you missed the part where we said we're not going to do huge stretch goals this time.
No.
Sorry?
No.
John is correct. No is the answer. There will not be any ship variants to this one. I don't want to modify the hull. The ship is way too big. It kind of relies on being the way it is. And it's just not set up to, like, you might be able to convince, like, Shadow Liger to try and extend. You could extend the ship here in the middle, I think. But that's the only place that's feasible. What are you laughing at?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Very long.
I'm not going to be convinced. I swear I'm not going to be convinced. I might be convinced if you guys threw like a shit ton of money at us. But that might convince me, but it would have to be a considerable amount to start modifying. Like again, I really kind of just want to move on from the ship. I love the ship. I'm very proud of the design we've put out, but I just want to move on, guys. I'm so tired.
We got an idea from that blasted sabotage.
Oh, another one.
Mm-hmm. What if the walkway was, if the ship were real, it would retract into the ceiling?
Yeah.
On the actual model though, there is a clip that lets you either place the walkway or remove it.
We did have that idea. By the way, guys, I can see there's more concurrent viewers than we've had in a long, long time. So don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, now I'm done finishing whoring myself. So let's continue. I'm wondering if we're going to build in the rails for this version. Yes, I like that idea, that Blasted Camouflage. By the way, your name is not the best. We need to like call you like Samo or something, which I think is a Finnish name, right? Oh, no?
I'm not sure. It sounds almost
Is
like
that the name of that really like mega successful sniper in the Second World War?
Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, so okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tiles wide. Is that correct? Yes, 9 tiles long. So that would be 9 inches. I don't think that actually will fit on my build plate. It will diagonally, but yeah, we need to consider that. So, and we also need to consider railings. So I think we just build in the railings maybe. And we probably want to make it so that the railings are here as well. So I'm wondering if maybe... See, if it wasn't for the clips, I would almost say that putting a support in the middle actually would be a decent solution. I do like that idea. And actually, I'm pretty sure on the shelving, I have some support rods that are like 3 millimeters thick. And that might be more sustainable. And also mean that I haven't wasted money when I accidentally ordered them instead of the 6mm ones. So that's something to consider. But yeah, these clip railings I think we'll do away with, and we'll just try to make a railing that we can sort of like print this vertically 4 inches at a time or 5 inches at a time, because that will fit on anyone's build plate. So at the moment I think we'll have a clip hole on this end, we'll have a clip hole on this end, and a clip hole in the middle, and then we might use those tiny support rods as suggested as a sort of like additional buffering, because I think, John, can you just have a look in the shelf here somewhere? There should be like some, oh wait, no, they might be in the print room. On the shelves there could be like 2 metal rods that like just have a quick 1 minute look max.
So there is like a seemingly general consensus that we shouldn't do alternative ships, and the current rails are great and no need to alter them. And then we got a bit of action here, I think, from Totally Glitch.
We've got, sorry, what was that last bit?
Yeah, Totally Glitch said, "Quick blasted. Let's enter a noir film and steal a lot of money and coin to throw at Ben. Let's hope the coin doesn't knock him out."
Sure, that sounds great. Do that, and then make sure it comes to me. But yeah, we have these, like, I think these are, let's see, 2.38 millimeter rods. So we could potentially make use of these. Although it is kind of slightly flexible, but I imagine this will keep the bridge kind of solid. So yeah. Again, the idea is to make it with built-in railings. We're still probably going to do the same width of railings here, so that we have something here. I don't know, like, if we can repurpose these, but I'm sort of thinking more along the lines of something that uses a diagonal. Maybe there's something a little bit more classical traveler. It might clash with this basic design. So I'm not entirely sure if I've seen it anywhere with where it's actually had the railings in. So again, we probably want to do away with this. Let's see if we've got some flooring here that has the right clip orientation. That has some there, but we're in a similar circumstance. This is what we want. Okay, so I duplicate this. Just grab this. Oh, why didn't I just grab it from the opposite side there? Oh well, no matter, no matter.
So, let's see now. We got a questionnaire from Lillian Brink. Is there a way to turn the front windows into a paper printable template, like a Pepakura template to trace and cut out clear plastic to use. If you that doesn't make sense, I'll explain.
I understand what it
Yeah,
is. Yeah. What she's saying is like if these windows could be as a template, like just so you can cut around them. We could potentially make them that way. And someone asked like if they come in from the back or the front. They come in from the back here. We actually don't usually put windows in ourselves, but we could potentially take these shapes and try and flatten them somehow. But I don't know. I think we could get them close, but not particularly spot on. But yeah, the curves could be potentially an issue. This is something we're going to have to deal with when we actually do the model. Yeah, 5 minutes left, sure, but we might run over slightly. Oh wait, we have other things to do. I don't know. We'll see. TBD. But yeah, we are moving away from ship variants for traveler ships. Now, if we did our own design again, which we may do next year, we'll see. I would like to. That would be a case of where it would make sense to... Let's see, that should be about 4 there, and that's 5. Actually, it makes more sense to do it here. The reason being that if we have railings on this side, it will line up better. So let's see. And then we just flip that around. 180 degrees, or 270 in this case. And we'll get the last clip going here as well. So... oh, that was spot on. Nice. So we're using the same kind of flooring. So we'll just duplicate this to grab a basic floor. Sorry. John has reminded me that we almost are running out of time. We might run slightly over just so that we get a general idea of what this might look like. But we need to think about if there are ways to do this quickly and effectively. I like the idea of keeping the tiles kind of as they are because it fits with the rest of the ship's aesthetics. Even if, like, you know, as a walkway, ideally I would change the tile, but I don't really want to do that at this late stage. And then the railings will need some adjustment here. Because we'll basically grab this pattern on the end. There we go. Oops, we want this on object mode. It's already in the right orientation, and then we should just freeze the transformations and mirror this in the Z.
So we got a question here. What do Mark Miller think of this ship?
He is a man of very few words. But what he has said in the last email was very short and concisely that he does like it quite a lot. So I don't recall if he specifically said love it. I don't think so. But he seems happy with the state of things, which makes me happy. It is kind of like that hybrid between my style and the Traveller style, but you would expect that from any artist. And I have tried to draw on Traveller sources, so like again, Rob Caswell, biggest source. If anyone actually knows him, love to be able to just tell you he made some awesome designs. But yeah, let's see. Let's extrude these along. And let's actually fit this back to the grid. Oh, that was more or less to the grid as was. So let's keep that there. Extrude some more. I'm just going to do this first half of the bridge to give a general idea. And again, like, this could be something that we revisit as a stretch goal or something like that. So for those of you that weren't here before, what I was saying with the stretch goals is we're going to keep them internal for the most part. So, like I said, the only place in this ship design you could really extend it is like if you lengthen this middle section. I have a feeling that there could be one shadow lagger that could attempt something like that. But for my part, I don't think we'll be doing any external ship stuff. We'll be doing stuff like engine upgrades and like maybe that mezzanine that has been discussed on the second story, those sorts of things. So this is an imported STL file. What we need to do is just merge these vertices. That was kind of ugly. Hopefully we can grab these polygons and turn them into quads. It didn't quite work out the way I was hoping, but if we can just get this first band around, hopefully we can continue the patterns. I only need to do this with one, so I'm going to isolate it. And yeah, we'll try and wrap up in the next 10 minutes. Yes. I'll say it at the end. I've already said it twice, John. Oh, yeah, yeah. Thank you, John. He's reminding me like to get you guys to follow the campaign. I don't know if we can drop the link in the chat or something, but
the link is in chat.
The link is in chat, guys. And actually, I put it in the description for the video too, so don't forget to go into that link and just follow the campaign on Kickstarter, even if you like don't plan on backing at this stage. I mean, we will have deck plans as well for those of you without a 3D printer, so that could be of interest. But yeah, like follow the campaign and help spread the love around when the time comes, because we do need every piece of support that we can possibly get. And we're getting close to launch now, with just a month away. So like and subscribe and ring the bell, comment, like participate, like you guys are doing now in the chat, which is wonderful. We do read the comments, unlike many places, because we don't tend to get negative comments at the moment. But that could all change, and maybe you will change them by commenting. In any case, I just want to get this railing done real quick.
It really feeds the algorithm, which allows us to get more people, which allows us to make more big ships.
Yeah, good point, John. Don't know if you guys heard that, but yeah, the more people that like us, the more big ships we can do. Because, let's be honest, we suck at social media. So there must be lots more ship lovers out there somewhere that we can, convert to John's cult, which is the primary reason why we're doing this now. So yeah, this is a tedious process, just because I don't trust the way that Maya would do it. Like this is working good so far, so let's try 2 at a time. You can see that it's turning these triangles into quads, but sometimes the patterns just don't line up. Oh, now we've gone off to a different section of the ship. So we may not need more than this, because I think we'll have a different way of connecting these tiles. So I'm just gonna delete these bits. We don't need the clip either. Hey, I didn't realize that all kind of like angled weirdly. And we'll do this side as well. And that will let us have a bit more control over this. And yeah, we're pretty close to having something. I think this will be representative of what we want. We can work on changing the pattern a little bit. It's just a little bit easier to manipulate when it is quads. So I'm going to make these shorter, because again, we want to have these kind of parallel to the floor. So the connections will probably change slightly. Unless these are touching each other, this is not a good way of doing a walkway, so maybe we'll be doing a walkway without these curves. Maybe just a straight I don't know. What do you guys think? Let us know in the chat/comments. So it should be abundantly clear, since we're about to go over, or rather have gone over 4 minutes, that we're not going to get this done today. But let me just put this back on the grid. You can see there's like a gap between each piece, and we're going to need to eliminate that gap if we're just going to print, the first 5 pieces and have them standing. We also need to create rails that will be in this direction, like so. So there's going to be a little bit of processing that we need to do there, but basically these rails are going to help support the base, which is why we want that on the side that's 5 inches long. Again, we'll probably use these support rods I have here as additional help to keep it stable. This will be the support rods are always optional, but they're always optional, but you never know if they're going to be I don't know, with the weight of the ship, I'm not sure I will want to go without the support rods. Possibly what we could do is create some templates that you could use to just print them, because even just having like some PLA printed to rods, but with the strength direction running the right orientation, could make all the difference with holding those pieces together. So I think with that, you guys get an idea about what we're going to finish up doing here. Be sure to leave some more comments about the shape of these railings. That's a great way to get involved post-transmission. And this transmission will be ending shortly. Do you have anything to add, John?
Be well.
Be well, John says, which could mean anything. And Albin is... do you have anything to contribute?
No.
Sorry, that was phrased rather poorly. I'm Ben from Second Dynasty. You've been with us here on YouTube, following our progress on the Beowulf 3D printable 28mm starship. Detailed inside and out. You can lift off the layers and lay them out on your tabletop. It's an epic project, and it's soon coming to an end. Again, the link in the description leads you to the Kickstarter page, which already exists. We're updating the graphic every week with new versions of the printed product. And yeah, October 24th is when we're launching. It will be evening time for us here in Sweden, probably 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, which would be about 5 or 6 o'clock at Greenwich Mean Time. I guess about midday East Coast US, like where John lives. Oh no, I've given too much away. Alright guys, thank you for joining us. We're going to end this